Search engines used to look at the words on your page and more or less count how many times they show up to determine what websites to show in the results. But then some clowns started hiding words in their pages using white font on a white background, or putting a bunch of them hidden in the code on their page somewhere, and just using a lot of dirty ways to improve their rank. But then Google came along and started using the link algorithm that we'll talk about in the link building section. And then they also added social media factors in 2012. But as far as content and keywords goes, relevant terms are the most important factor. Now, relevant terms are basically words that would tend to appear in an article about a certain topic naturally. In some cases, they're synonyms for the word being searched. In other cases, they're words that might or would be expected to appear in an article on something. So if you search the term grow flowers, for example, you might expect to see the words plant, soil, dirt, sunlight, maybe leaves, colors, somewhere in the article. And these are things that Google looks for in the article and also in the site to determine the most relevant web page to put on the first page of those results. In other words, keywords are and always have been important, except now search engines are much more holistic and intelligent at picking up the words that matter to people doing searches. Now, keyword stuffing, as it's called, the idea of putting the same word in a post over and over, stopped working a long time ago. Now it's about writing naturally, including several different words that are relevant to the topic being searched, and making it easy to understand. Now, Matt Cutts, the head of Google's web spam team, has said that Google uses something called the Flesch-Kincaid reading test to determine the difficulty of the post and tends to put easier material higher in the search results. So ideally, you want a 7th or 8th grade reading level, and you can check the grade of your post at this site, readability-score.com. And you can see here over on the right, this block of text has a 9th grade reading level, which is not bad. You really want 7th or 8th grade, but it's pretty close to what you want.
Now, if we look back at the ranking factors, you'll see that posts in the top 10 results have on average 1,633 words, which is up from a little less than 1,300 in the previous year. And my guess is this is probably going to be closer to 2,000 next year, since the number has gone up pretty much every year since the study began. You'll also notice in the next slide here that the number of target keywords in a post in the top 10 results is pretty low relative to the number of total words in the post. On average, there were only 7.5 instances of the keyword being searched for out of an entire 1,600 word post, which is less than 0.5%. And that's because Google's search engine has become extremely good at determining how relevant an article is to a search by means of synonyms and the overall content intent. So you really don't need to worry all that much about making sure the exact keywords you're focusing the post on are in there a certain number of times. By making your post the most detailed, holistic, and complete one on the topic, you increase your chances of coming up not only for the keywords you're shooting for, but numerous others that you may not have even planned on.
Now, there was a study of 100 million articles conducted by BuzzSumo in 2014, you can see here on the chart. They found that posts of 3,000 words or more attracted the most shares. So you always want to shoot for longer posts, but of course never at the expense of quality. And so without further ado, I want to show you how to brainstorm for, how to use certain programs to find great keywords, how to include the right keywords on your site, how to decide which terms to write posts on, which terms are most likely to create sales for you, and how to figure out where your site's pages are showing up for a list of different keywords.